Did any of my plan boards show up yet?
Yeah, we have 2 so far.
Cool, cool. That just means we need one more.
got a meeting too. Should try to do it on Zoom. I could have been able to see them then.
Planning Board a meeting to order on March 23rd, 2021. I guess we'll do the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Yes, we'll do a roll call now.
Alrighty. Donald Alderman,
Here.
Ronald Wilson, Yvonne Andrews, Michael Kearney,
Yeah.
and Brad Riddle.
Here.
Alrighty.
There's only three of us.
Yeah. Okay,
Well,
I
that's
guess
a quorum, so it's okay.
all right, that's good.
All right.
I guess the next thing is the approval of the previous minutes. Have you guys gone over the previous meeting's minutes?
Yes.
I need a first and a second on approving those.
I'll give you a first.
I'll give you a second to approve the minutes from last.
Okay, I need a roll call vote.
Don Alderman,
Aye.
Ron Wilson, Yvonne Andrews, Mike Kearney,
No,
Brad Riddle.
Yep. Okay,
Motion
that was
passes
passed.
3-0.
All right, guess the new business would be certificate of appropriateness roof is that it? Roof over
No,
application?
That's the historic board. So the
Oh,
first
that's
thing
just-
we're doing is the plan board. That'll be the LDC amendment.
All right, I'm trying to find that real quick.
That's the,
Front
first
page.
we're gonna talk about this first, because it's so neat.
This one?
Yeah, so this one, and there's a table like this, that
Okay. Sorry, I'm behind it a bit.
yeah, it's kind of dug in there a little bit.
Okay.
we're not used to this many pages.
Christy's been busy this
I
last
know.
month. She's a godsend. I don't know what I'd do without her.
We don't want to give her too many accolades. Come on. I gave her some
Yeah, I might get
already.
spoiled.
Why?
Keep it
Actually, show
quiet.
me which page you're talking about
The
again.
one that, it might be on, it looks like this table. We'll start putting page numbers on there.
All right,
Okay.
right. It's got draft across it.
Yep, it's the draft.
Table 11,
Yeah.
yeah, it has draft on it.
It's the draft section.
Yeah, table 11.00.01, procedure by development option.
What's that? There it is, 110001.
11.00.01?
Yeah,
Okay,
sorry.
not a
We'll start
problem.
Putting those up top first. Are
Okay,
y'all all there?
I'm here. Yep.
Okay, so, what this is our, it's a table that explains the procedures, the level of review, for the different categories in the development process. So a level 1 review means that staff can approve I can approve it at my level, so that would be something I sign off on.
Okay.
That doesn't come to plan board or to the commission. Level 2 comes to the plan board and stops there, doesn't go to the commission, and level 3 goes all the way up to the commission. So,
After it's been to the plan board.
excuse me?
After it's been to the plan board?
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, so there's,
Right.
so level 1, me, level 2, you, level 3, plan board and commission.
Right. Very good.
Okay, so the reason staff is bringing this to you is that there are several items that are, not so much, doesn't really stop at you. There's a lot of things that stop at staff level that we felt should go to the plan board and to the commission.
Good.
And then after this, what we're going to do, and I'll go over the things that we are recommending changing. So the table as it is right now is what we're recommending. Just a whole lot more go to the plan board and commission. And then we're coming back at the next meeting. Christy and I will have reviewed and have recommended changes to the table that lists all the different uses, and then they'll have an S or a P, for if it's permitted or if it's a special use. And so those two tables kind of go together, and so you'll be able to look at them together to see what we're recommending as a whole. But we had to do this one more to tighten things up because there's too much that's not coming to you. And that way, and quite honestly, I don't feel comfortable approving at the staff level by any means, and I shouldn't. So the changes are, so certified parcel is at the same level of review as before. Preliminary plat was a level 3 review previously. Improvement plans, that is the construction plans. That was at a level 1 review, and staff is recommending that it be part of the plat process, so that that's included with the plat and that they're approved prior to, along with the final plat.
Are-
And by the plan board and commission, that those aren't approved anymore at the staff level.
Are the grayed out areas the steps it has to take, or is it the white out areas?
The gray area is that it would, so that one, the gray area is level 3 review.
Okay.
That's how we're recommending that it become.
Okay.
So right now, it just goes to staff. And we're recommending the construction plans go to level 3, because what happens is they'll try to just start doing improvements or
Right.
not do improvements. And if they know it needs to go to you, there's no gray area.
Right. Okay.
Improvement agreement is essentially a development agreement. And so it says right now that staff could approve a development agreement. We shouldn't be doing that at staff level. That needs to be plan board commission. And in fact, a lot of development agreements are just commission. So that even though that says that since it's an agreement and not really plans,
Right.
it can still just be commission. Final plat, right now they have final plat as staff. That is already going all the way to commission and should. So that's a cleanup item.
Okay.
Preliminary plan, that's like a preliminary site plan. A lot of people just go straight to site plan, but that should be level 3 as well, especially commercial. Definitely needs to be, and this is mainly for commercial. That should be plan board and commission. So like if you have a Chick-fil-A or you have
I wish.
a Dollar General, when it goes through the different levels, what happens is the developers tend to give you a better product because they know you're looking at it. So they have to, from a staff standpoint, we can play the whole, and it's true. I don't know if plan board's going to approve this like this, or plan board likes it better this way. So they tend to end up giving you a nicer product. And then, there's construction plans too, and that would be part of the site plan process so that when it's approved at through plan board and commission, it's all done, it's clean. We don't have to be a staff, be searching around for it. It just makes it a better, smoother process. And also we don't want somebody moving forward on the construction plans and before the site plan. So what'll happen is the site plan should come before the construction plans, and sometimes people will reverse it, and then we're trying to make the site plan fit the construction plans where it should be the other way around. That's why if it's done this way, it comes forward together. It ends up right. So then these other ones, we're still recommending that well field, floodplain, and stormwater management at staff level. That's more of an administrative thing. And the other ones we're keeping the same. Mobile home park, recreation vehicle, light industrial airport, level 3. And this is where it kind of conflicts a little. So provisional use permit, that's something that's allowed, but there's often secondary things they have to do. But what's going on with our provisional use is that I don't know what's going on here. The secondary things that extra stipulations, a lot of those aren't in we have a lot of categories that there's no extra stipulations for, so it makes no sense that they're even provisional use. But some of the things are allowed by the provisional use currently, which is why we're also going to be fixing up the table, include group homes, hotel motels, multifamily. So basically I could approve an apartment complex right now at my level.
Really?
So I personally don't feel comfortable with that. So I would like it going to the plan board and the commission. So that's why we're recommending that go to the commission level. And that what we do on the table is that when we go back and fix the table, then we just put a P for some of the things that should be permitted. So we don't make things difficult that don't need to be difficult, but the things like apartment complexes that should come to you do. And that's, for instance, that's one of them. We don't have extra stipulations for multifamily. So if we're going to do that, then we need to go ahead and put that in there, maybe some design guidelines for multifamilies and things like that. But if we're going to have it be a provisional use, there needs to be something that makes it provisional. Otherwise, you should just make it permitted.
Right.
And then the special use, special exception, those are not allowed by right, and but they still go up the chain. So right now, that was approved just at your level, and we think it should go through you and the commission. So some of the things that are allowed in the special use include private clubs, pawn shops, convenience stores. We think that should go through 2 level of review as well.
Yeah.
So it just, the more eyes on something, the better.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
it just kind of tightens things up, plugs some holes. So until we get some of the code changes and stuff, we aren't exposed. So the other recommended changes are basically deletions of things that allowed things in the text that we didn't feel like should be allowed, or they were in conflict with our recommendations for the table. The only things, and if you want me to go through each one of those, I will. Like under 11.04.05 on final site plan required,
Whereabouts is this now? Okay.
they have like,
Right.
as in level 1 review. So as you can see, we're recommending that be a level 3 review. And the other one, 11.04, I'm kind of going backwards, 0.04, it says level 1 review. We cross that out because we are recommending level 3 review on that as well. And so then under level 1 review for 11.02.02.01, we have a bunch of strikes through. So if you read the language before the strike through, it says application subject to level 1 review. I can't talk today. So again, we struck through all these things because we're recommending a higher level review.
Good.
And then this was the only thing that was different that we went ahead and that was not, this is a change staff is recommending that has nothing to do with the table. So if you look at, kind of flip over a page, if you look at 11.01.07.01, under determination of required review, we've struck through number 2, which says platted subdivision with no improvements. What is going on here is we are having developers come in, is kind of read really gray. And the way I interpret it is you can come in and go ahead and plat if no improvements are required. The way they're interpreting it, because it's really kind of gray language, is that means I have to make no improvements. So one of the subdivisions that came in before I got here, because I'm not taking ownership of this because I didn't do it, was that Stonewood, Christy? Stonewood, was that the subdivision?
Yep, it was Stonewood and Woodstone. Yep.
Yeah, so basically what they did was roads that should have had construction plans that were to be reviewed, they called them, they said there were no improvements needed, and they went ahead and did real improvements, like public improvements, that should have had construction plans, and then should have had someone in the field inspecting them, and like the whole 9 yards.
Right.
And they said, well, because it's under, you're allowed to do the no improvements if it's under, what, 10 lots? So there's like, they're saying because of that, I don't have to do improvements. So staff is like, how'd this happen? And it happened. So we're striking that through so that gray language is there so that doesn't happen again.
Good.
And so, and then the following 11.01.07.03, platted subdivisions with no improvement facilities, is the same issue. We struck through all that. We're taking that out. That's not an option. You can't do subdivisions with no improvements. If you have one lot and it's not a subdivision and you have improvements already in place, that's allowed. But you're not going to come plat raw land that you are going to pave roads on, and then that's not okay, because then that creates issues later on down the road, because that's how you have roads that don't last.
That's right.
So, so anyway, that was a cleanup thing. We're actually having to plug holes right now, and then we are also, have this things in place that we're going to start at the same time actually making improvements to whole sections, but right now we're plugging holes.
Or if it proves through here tonight,
when can this stuff be implemented, actually enforced?
So weren't we aiming for the second meeting in April? Because we
That's
had the
correct.
first
Yep.
meeting. Yeah, and so we
First
have to,
reading and then the second, and then right after that, you can implement it.
the second meeting in April, it'll be in ordinance form if you recommend that we put this in ordinance form, these changes, and you recommend this to the commission. And then we will, we're advertising it because we have to have the advertisement. And then once they pass it, it'll go into effect.
Good.
Sooner the better.
I think this will actually help the commission move their meetings along too, once you've got all this in place. I mean, the fact that the plan board, it's like we're setting up some real rules now, so that when it goes to the commission after plan board has either approved it or denied it, it saves them asking the same questions all over again that the plan board's already taken care of.
Or someone sweet talking their way through it because of
That's right.
twisting the words of something to get it through.
Yeah, and another issue is what we've had developers do is they're trying to kind of piecemeal projects. So they'll bring forward a site plan that it could be a complete site plan at staff level, but then they're wanting to do other things, right? So they'll, oh, now I want to add this, and now I want to add that, now I want to add this. So what this forces them to do is, so if it's coming to y'all and commission, then they'll know that if they're going to make a change on the site, well, now they have to amend the site plan.
Right.
So then it has to go through two
And
processes.
that's
So
what it
they're
should.
not going to want to do that. So they'll give you what they're really going to do from the beginning instead of trying to like, now this and now that. And that's how you get this out of control thing. And then staff is stuck in a place where we're going, well, you know, they're 1 foot off the setback. I can't allow that. And, you know, it's just like these runaway train things.
You
And
just went
it's,
through it.
yeah, it's
You
not.
just went through it on one project you've got here.
It's exposure for staff, the city.
Yeah.
It's not the way to do business. And again, I think you get a better product. And so y'all aren't driving around one day, you see something go up and how'd that happen?
Right.
You know, you're on top of it and you have your voice. So,
So what, just to point, so the new, I just got kind of blindsided on something, but the new store that's going in down here on 27, who is it? It's,
Dollar General.
yeah, the Dollar General. I don't remember that ever come before the plan board.
that's because right now site plan review is at staff level. So this would
So it
correct
didn't
that.
have to go to that.
So now that would
Right.
come to plan board and then the commission.
And that takes a lot of the pressure off your team.
Well, yeah, and what happens also is staff can get them so far. So like legally, we can only hold them to what's in our ordinances.
Yes.
But if it's going through both levels, they tend to want to satisfy you. So we can only go so far. And I'll just give an example of a Chick-fil-A I worked on in another city. The plan board sat up there and you know, the drive-through. It met our requirements. Staff had gotten it to a certain part because since they know it has to go to you and the commission, and staff can tell them kind of what you really like, and they might throw some extra things in, even if it's not required. And so when it got to plan board, the plan board was like, I really like the stone columns through the drive-through. And so they just want to get it over. They don't want to have to keep going through this. And they'll be like, okay, because it's to them, the stone columns aren't worth having to go through the process again.
That's right.
So then you're getting,
Everything up front.
yeah, and then it's just so much better. And then they give us the rendering and not just the site plan. And it's,
Okay.
I think this is really exciting and we've needed this for a long time.
Now, this is a code amendment. Do we need to have a public discussion on this? Does that also come up, or is that strictly in?
no, this is a text amendment. It's not a
Right.
zoning change.
Okay, any discussion that you have on this? Do you pros,
No,
cons?
I'm very happy
Did
that
this
the
require
city
pub-
manager's doing this. I think we've needed it.
Maybe we should ask the attorney
Let
on
me
that.
check him again on the public hearing just to make sure, because I hope I
Mis-
didn't leave that
Mr.
out.
Walker?
If it's needed.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Would this require a public discussion on this code amendment?
You need to ask for, once we have a motion on the table to approve the plan changes of the land development code, once we have that the motion to approve the amendments that are before you, before you take the vote, you do need to ask for any public comment. And of course, since we have a hybrid meeting, we'll ask for anybody to put their thumbs up on the video, so that on the Zoom meeting, so that we can call on anybody in that that has their thumb up function on if they want to comment as well. And Mr. Chair, I'll just say real quickly, this is cleaning up one of the most confusing areas of our existing land development code, trying to figure out what goes to planning and zoning, what goes to staff, what goes to city commission is just exceedingly confusing. So having that chart that is real clear, it's very straightforward, and it's delineated. So I would agree with Planning and Zoning Board Kearney when he said that we've needed this a long time. This is cleaning up some areas that are really, really not clear on our existing land development code. So I agree with that.
Okay. Appreciate it. Thank you. Do I have a motion on this?
I can make a motion.
Okay, now that we have a motion, do we have any public discussion either in the building or on Zoom on this particular matter?
Question, was that a recommending approval motion?
Is it recommending approval?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, gotcha.
Recommend approval.
Mr. Chair, if there's anyone on Zoom that would like to make a public comment, we ask that they use the raise your hand function in Zoom right now. Seeing no hands at this time, Mr. Chair, Yvonne Andrews has joined the meeting. Let the record show that.
Thank you. Okay, well, I guess closed public discussion. Any more discussion among the board on this?
No, I just think this is very important, and I'm thrilled that we finally, after all these years, are doing this.
Okay. I guess we'll close it for the board discussion. I need a first and a second to approve or disapprove.
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second it.
Okay, I guess we'll need a roll call vote. Christy, do you know that Ms. Andrews has logged in?
Yep, and I still call everybody even if they're not here, just to, catch it on the
Okay.
record. So, Don Alderman,
Aye.
Ron Wilson, Yvonne Andrews, Mike Kearney,
Aye.
and Brad Riddle.
Aye.
All right, motion passes 3-0.
Ms. Andrews, did you have a yay or a nay? I see your video, but we didn't hear you.
She might be muted. I think it's the number that's called in. I think that might be her as well. I think she's in 2 spots.
Oh, we can see her.
Yeah.
Looks like she's in a vehicle.
She's trying to say something, but we can't.
Mr. Chair, if.
Oh, she's not in her
she's
head.
saying
yes. Okay,
She's
got
saying
it.
yes.
All
Okay,
right, I'll put
great.
it in there. 4-0.
4-0. Okay. Is that all we have on?
Well, that's very good. Wow.
And yeah, that's all we have for plan board. So
Okay.
the next thing will be, we move on to historic board.
All right.
I have a quick question before we move on. When I was reading through this the other day, the city plan committee that does the initial review, is this just members of staff, or do you have other people other than members of staff that are on that committee?
It's mainly,
I know you're looking for anybody to be on that committee.
Your button.
it's a staff.
The button on
So it is staff, and the staff that it consists of is what we call the Development Review Committee or Site Plan
Right.
Committee.
Yes.
And that currently that is me. It is Christy. It's the police chief, the fire chief. Who else is on there? Do we have on there?
Public Works Director and building official.
Yeah, and we bring the CRA into it if it encompasses the CRA district. And so we try to meet once a week. We don't always meet once a week if it's, busy or people haven't had time to review something. And that's typically, that committee is what is in standard. If we started adding other people to it, then we would have to probably go to the commission and see how they want it to do it.
That's too complicated.
But I think since it is staff's job is to get it to a point where they meet all regulations, and if they don't, to let you know what they are. And but doing this, you're basically going to see everything.
Yes.
So before, you were left out of the loop, and I wasn't comfortable at all. It's not the way it's supposed to be done.
Okay, so now we're on the historic. Is that what we're at next?
Yep, but I think we have to officially close plan board meeting and then open
that's
the
right.
historic one. Yeah.
That's right, there's two separate ones. So I need a motion to close the meeting.
We'll make a motion.
A motion, we close. Can you hear me?
Yes, so Yvonne makes a motion to close.
Yes.
Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
I guess roll, is that a roll call vote or just, we've never done it that way before.
I'm
We don't have
not
to.
sure. Yeah, I
All right,
think it-
just,
We don't have to.
we shouldn't have to do it, just all in favor, say aye.
That's right. Aye.
All right, all in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Okay, I guess that passes. Now we must open the historic meeting. It is, I guess, 7 o'clock in the afternoon, even though the clock is off. At least I think it is.
it's 7.
Yeah, it
That's
is.
right.
Okay, well, the clock says 6.
Oh yeah, it's not 6.
Yep, okay then. Is this on this page here marked Certificate of Appropriateness, Application Board Approval from 3/2/2021? Is that the one we're looking at?
That sounds right. Yeah, we have several different certificate of appropriatenesses we're going to be going over.
Is that the first one that you want us to go over?
Are you looking at the agenda? Applicant should be
I'm lost in
Florida to
this
Florida.
today. All right, let me see. New business, land development ordinance. That's the LDC.
Nope, that's the plan board.
All right,
So
okay.
the one you
And
want starts with, let's see here.
The roof over?
Yep, should be a roof over.
Okay. Yep. All right. Is it possible to have the attorney read the application?
Happy to do so, Mr. Chair. This is the request by for a new metal roof system as a church building on the north and opposite side of the road. The materials are synthetic underlayment, screws, drip edge, valley metal, transition metal, and
Scott, pull your mic closer to you.
yes, of course, Yvonne, thank you. Can you hear me a little better now, Yvonne?
Yes, that's better.
All right, good deal. The applicant is FL to FL LLC, and the project location, Mr. Chair, is at 23561 Northwest 187th Avenue, High Springs, Florida. The owner is the same as the applicant. They give us the tax parcel number. And the description of the project is installation of a new metal roof system as church building to the north on the opposite side of the road. The materials that are listed in the application are synthetic underlayment, screws, drip edge, valley metal, transition metal, and a 3-foot wide galvanum in color panels. So that is the request that's before you, Mr. Chair. It looks like we're screen sharing. We have the tax parcel number as it is outlined in blue. And you'll see the tax parcel number is the 606 property designation.
Okay.
And I also have a, let's see, I have a Google map of it if that'll help. So basically, they want to put on the same roof as what has gone into the church that's across from them. The church got their metal roof while we were not enforcing this correctly. So yes, it is the same as the one across the street, but it's up to you all to, determine whether you think that's appropriate or not. Let me pull, I have a Excel here. Let me pull the Google map.
This is the old restaurant, right?
So I don't know if, I think it's an old restaurant. Yeah, because they demolished the one that was in the front of it, which I
It's the
think
one
was
that
a
we tore down, or
salon.
they tore down the
Yeah.
front of the other
The old
day.
barber
The old
Yep,
barber
so
shop,
they're
right.
getting this one right here. Can you see that?
Needs a lot more than the roof.
But now under current ordinance and LDC, that wouldn't be approved?
No, it's not that it wouldn't be approved. It's just you all get to determine whether that would fit, you know, the historic character of the area. Do
okay.
note that this view is old. This image captures from 2013, so take it as you will. So this is the building that's changing, and
Right.
the church across the street got a new roof. This is the old roof, obviously. I don't have a picture of the new roof, but I'm sure you guys have passed it a few times since
Yep.
then. So it will be matching, which is a good thing. So staff doesn't have anything against it as long as you all think it's appropriate for the area and all that good stuff.
And that's owned by the church as well?
No, completely unrelated to the church.
Ju-
They
it's
just
just
use
to
the
match
church as
the
an
church.
example. Yeah, they're gonna match the church, but it's just an example.
Okay.
Mhm.
Is there anybody in the applicants here to speak on this behalf? No? Okay.
This is the same building where they tore down. What
Right.
you're talking about.
Right,
The
yeah, they
one
tore
right there is the
down
one they
this
tore
one
down.
So-
right there.
Okay.
So does our building inspector have any say in do they have to go before the building inspector to get approval of what type of materials, et cetera, they can use before
long
they
as-
actually come before us?
So they do have a roof permit application in, but they can't actually get that until they get the certificate of appropriateness. So as long as that roof
okay.
meets all building codes, all applicable building codes, they're fine on that end. The building department doesn't say whether it fits historically or aesthetically. It's just
Got
pure
it.
building code.
Got it.
Okay.
Good.
Is there anyone in the, we open up for public discussion? Anyone would discuss this from the public? If you're on Zoom, please do your raise your hand feature.
Mr. Chair, there's nobody on Zoom but the participants in the meeting.
Okay, well then I guess we'll close the public discussion. Any discussion here among the board on this? You got any questions?
Now, my only point is that I think it's excellent. We get more metal roofs in town, we're gonna be a lot better off.
No one? Okay, we'll close the board discussion. I would need a first and a second on either for or against.
Like to make a motion that we accept this Z21000011.
I have a first.
I'll offer a second.
We have a second. Okay, we're going to reopen again for public discussion. If there's anybody that's on Zoom, you can raise your hand through your application. Nothing? All right, public discussion is closed. We need a roll call vote.
Don Alderman,
Aye.
Ron Wilson, Yvonne Andrews,
Okay,
Mike Kearney,
Aye.
Brad Riddle.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-1.
Excuse me, I do presume that there's there's a fee, a building permit fee. Is that just an automatic thing now?
Yeah, so there is a building permit fee that goes through building. There are some, we do need to come back and do some amendments to some of the fees, because there's some permits that we should have that we don't, like we don't have a fence permit.
Right.
So things like that, and we really need to be reviewing those things, because they'll build the fence like not on the property line, or
Right.
they'll take more property and you end up with weird things. There's a particular area of town I'm thinking about right now. So there's some, we need to review it, and one of the things that I want to do is get a master fee schedule and adopt it by ordinance and put it in Unicode. And so that's one of the things we're gonna be working on this year for all departments.
Yeah, because I noticed on one of the other applications, it does show a fee. So,
Okay, I guess on to item number 2, Mr. Walker, would you please read that?
Happy to do so, Mr. Chair. And again, this is a certificate of appropriateness for windows and doors. The application number is 0000014. And this is an application by Christy Barber for the addition and replacement of 2 doors and 4 windows. The property location that they're seeking the application is 18575 High Springs Main Street, located within the historic district. Looks like they are asking in their material list for 2 new glass doors with bronze frames, and they're looking for 4 new solid glass, no grids, windows with, again, bronze frames as well.
This is on the front of the building and on the back of the building.
Okay, that's the one. Thank you,
Got it.
Christy. That sure makes it easy.
Yeah, no problem. I've got it pulled up. This capture is from 2018, so a couple years ago. So a little bit different, but same building.
4 windows. I didn't know there were 4 windows there. Okay.
I think it's where the asterisks are is what we're talking about.
Mr. Chair, I'm going to go ahead and read the description of the project since that's some of the questions that are being asked.
I see.
There is
Okay.
a building renovation that's going on here. They're adding 1 new window and a door to the front of the building. They're going to change out the existing front window, add 2 new windows to the back of the building, change out the existing back door, and then they're going to leave the existing double door on the front of the building, and all new windows and doors will match the existing bronze frame glass doors. The existing ones, the 1 existing front window will be replaced and moved forward to be flush with the brick wall. So that's the nature of the project, Mr. Chair.
Thank you very much.
Certainly.
Do we know what the establishment is going to be?
Nope, don't know yet. They're just doing a facelift as
Renovation?
far as I know right now. Yeah, no, nothing else in the system just yet.
Oh, this is the bank building we're talking about.
All right, is there anyone here or online that would, that's the applicant that would like to speak or say anything?
I'm confused.
No one? Okay. Then I guess we will.
Located?
It's
Excuse
located
me?
Where is
off of
this
Main
located?
Street. So here, let me turn the camera so you can see. So, Main Street.
Yeah, it's the old bank building.
Yep.
Okay, that's a good building.
Yep, in the heart of our downtown. So good building to get a facelift.
Yes.
Right next to what now?
Excuse me?
Is right next to what?
It's the old bank building.
Next to the jewelry store.
Oh, okay.
Okay, then I'd like to open for public discussion. If you are online, you can do by raising your hand, or if there's anyone in the building that would like to speak on this subject. No one? Okay, we'll close public discussion. Anybody on the board like to have any questions or anything to say about this?
I've got a question. Actually, it was another building I was thinking about, but it would apply to this building as well. So when someone is coming in the historic district now and they're asking to make renovations, do we call for inspections of the fire marshal and the building inspector?
So if they're
Yeah,
doing
they'll
any
get-
sort of, they still get all their permits and stuff through the building department for all their renovations, all the changes. The only step that's changed is that first they have to come to you guys and tell you what the scope of their work is so that you say, yeah, that's in line with our historic district. Or if it's way out there crazy, then you say,
Okay.
no, not okay, don't proceed.
Right, yeah. Yeah, so we have to put a different hat on. This is not a plan board. This is the historic.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
keep, same
Right,
thing.
right. A little different, but you guys are, plan board and historic.
Yeah, gotcha.
We have all the structural permits that you're supposed to have. We aren't
Yeah.
missing those
Okay.
by any means. We're just
Okay.
missing some of the accessory
Okay,
things
no
that aren't
problem.
as important.
Anything else? All right, I guess we'll close the board discussion. I need a motion and a second to approve or disapprove.
I make a motion that we approve application Z21000014.
I'll second it.
We have a first and a second. Again, we will now reopen for public discussion, either in the building or on Zoom.
Mr. Chair, there are no new participants on Zoom.
Are there any at all?
Just those that are participating. I will remind folks that there are a handful watching on Facebook. If they would like to make a public comment, they'll need to log on through Zoom. They can find the link on the website at highsprings.us and scroll under upcoming meetings on the bottom left. Click on the plan board meeting for March 23rd, and they will see the link there for Zoom.
Okay, we'll close the public discussion then. Need a roll call vote.
Don Alderman,
Aye.
Ron Wilson, Yvonne Andrews. Yvonne, you still there?
Mr. Chair, we lost Yvonne Andrews, looks like.
Okay, we'll skip her for now. Maybe she'll come back. Mike Kearney,
Aye.
Brad Riddle.
Aye.
Motion passes 3-0.
Okay, on to item 3. Mr. Walker, would you please read that one as well?
Yes, sir. This is certificate of appropriateness for paint and sidewalk. Application number is Z21-000015. There's an application by Glenn and Rebecca Gavitt for exterior paint for the building and new sidewalk. The building is located at 23591 Northwest 184th Road, located within the historic district. And the materials that they intend to use are Sherwin-Williams exterior satin finish, body rockwood terracotta, Southwest SW2803. The trim, if any, will be tawny tan, SW Sherwin-Williams 7713. So they're giving us the actual paint designations. The concrete walkway survey already provided the location of the new sidewalk at the existing building. So they have
Sorry, I lost it right when I was voting.
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear you.
Get my vote?
Yeah, I can add your vote. What was your vote for that last one?
I said yes, but I dropped it right when I was voting.
Gotcha. Okay, I got you down.
Okay.
Very good, Yvonne. Good to hear. So that's the application. This is a request to paint their building.
Yep. So I've got it pulled up again. Request to paint the building. They're going to do some work on the sidewalk. This is the old CarQuest building, if that helps. Let me pull up the Google map. So this building, gonna get a facelift, paint, fix the sidewalk up. I do know what this one's intended to be. This is going to be a restaurant. But other than that, I don't know too many more details beyond it's a restaurant. They're applying for the building permit and all that good stuff.
How about that?
Didn't they just take a lot of time exposing all the brick on that?
Yes.
I'm not 100% sure on that one.
Okay.
Yeah, they've done the brick on the front.
Are there any applicants that would like to speak on this, either online or in person?
Mr. Chair, one item that they did say in the description of the project is that they're doing the commercial building exterior repaint, not to include any of the brick facades. So the repaint, of course, will not paint over the existing exposed brick.
That's a good, nice job on that.
Then we'd like to open this for public discussion. If there's anyone in the building or on Zoom or whatever can raise their hand. Is there anyone?
Mr. Chair, there are still no participants on Zoom.
Okay, we'll close the public discussion. Anybody would like to talk about it among the board here? Any discussion?
No, I think it's exciting that they're finally moving on this project.
Colors look good.
All right, I guess we'll close the board discussion. We need a first and a second, either for or against.
You want.
You're leading the troops.
All righty. I would like to make a motion that we accept application Z21-000015.
I'll second it.
You have a second? All right, one more time, we'll open for public discussion. There is none. I guess we'll close that one. I need a roll call vote.
Don Alderman,
Yes?
Ron Wilson, Yvonne Andrews,
Yes.
Mike Kearney.
Okay.
I'm sorry, what?
Yes.
Yes, okay, gotcha. And Brad Riddle.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
All righty, I guess we're on to item 4. Mr. Walker, would you also read that one?
Yes, sir, Mr. Chair. This is a certificate of appropriateness. It's a paint application for the exterior of the building in the historic district. This is application number Z21000016, an application by Jim Wood for exterior paint for a building located at 18583 Northwest 241st Street, located within the historic district. The description of the project is to install new T111 siding over the existing siding and to paint the exterior. The applicant says, this is both James A. and Sarah Wood, that the painting will be done in a tasteful manner and in conjunction with the historic preservation guidelines. List of materials are T111 siding and exterior paint. So that is the gist of the application. The trim will be Comet Dust. They give us the actual designation of the paint, and then we have exterior will be painted the Notre Dame color that's also listed in the application.
Is there any applicants that were here that would like to speak on this? Approach?
No, just that,
Yeah, for the microphone.
yeah, my name's Jim Wood, and just that we're trying to make it look much more tasteful than it was, an old building, which I've had for a lot of years, and it's time to make it look a lot better than it does right now.
Okay.
It's actually, it's the whole building, there's 3 apartments in there right now.
Okay, and you're just dressing it up to make it look
That's
nicer?
correct.
Okay.
Correct. You guys have any technical questions at all?
Any
Fellows
questions?
My work is right here with me, also Sean.
Okay.
Okay.
We like to open then, I guess, at that point, public discussion or any questions? Anybody online? No? Okay, a board, close the public discussion. How about the board? Anybody have any questions?
Yeah, one question. What type of siding are you going back over with that board, with the T111?
Daniel, by the way.
Okay.
Okay.
We're proposing to use a T111 siding. It already exists on the main frontage side of the road here. And so we want to go down the back side of the building and across the face of the building with the same exact T111 that's there. And then I want to use a batten board, a vertical batten on the wall to cover the seams of the T111. So it'll be like a board batten look, which is historical.
Right.
And there's several buildings in the area that have that same siding. So that's what we have no plan to change anything else other than just adding what's already there around the rest of the side of the building.
Okay.
Kind of like a Key West style exterior with the little boards that cover the seams?
Yeah, it's like a pusher cage 1x2 that goes
Gotcha.
the seam of the T111 and then maybe a couple in between just to give it
The spacing?
the symmetrical look around it. And then because we're proposing to go over the old siding that's there, it will change the reveal on the window. So we want to use that same batten to trim out the windows just to give the dimension back to the windows. So that when you look at the road, from the road, you see it, the dimension of the building, the dimension of the windows and the doors, which will be lost with the siding over siding look.
It's a synthetic or a real wood?
It'll be a real wood. It's T111. It's like a wood. It's like a plywood.
Yeah, I'm familiar. I just didn't know if they were using. I guess there's some synthetics out there they're using now.
No,
So,
it's going to be the same exact one they sell at the local Lowe's.
Okay.
In that building right now.
any more questions from the board?
Nope.
Okay, I guess we'll close the board discussion. I need a motion on this, either for or against.
All right, I'll make a motion. on application Z 21-000016. I recommend that the board approves the request.
I second that motion.
Okay, we have a first and second. Any more discussion from the public or the applicants or anything? None? Okay, I'll close the public discussion, and I guess we do a roll call vote.
Don Alderman,
Yes?
Ron Wilson, Yvonne Andrews,
Yes.
Mike Kearney,
Yes.
Brad Riddle.
Yes.
Motion passes 4-0.
Is that all that we have on the list?
Yes.
It is? Okay, then I guess we need a motion to close.
I have a question for the city manager.
Okay, we got a question?
Is the tree board going to fall under this group also?
I need to talk to the commission on how they
Thanks for
want to
coming.
handle that, because I don't, it said, I think 3 people sit on it. And so I need to see who they want on that. This board has more than 3 people. So I need to see if I need to make a change to the tree preservation board and add another person, or make it the plan board, or I just need to see how they want to handle that.
The reason why I ask is because it seemed to me in the past it was sort of I don't know what it was. It just didn't accomplish a lot. So it needs to be a more serious scenario with some clout. And this was before you came here, but we went through a major mess up by where you're going to put your church.
Yeah.
With the RV park next door, where basically they had I don't know what it was, 10, 15 acres in there, 2 lots, and rolled in there on a Friday afternoon and cross-cut, took every tree out of the place. And the city, we had no clout at all. We couldn't find them. We couldn't do anything. It was just a joke.
So, so that's one of the things that needs to be written is the tree preservation ordinance. Typically, they'll have the species of the trees and plants in there, as well as they'll have a fine if you cut. So if people aren't going to have a fine, then they're going to do whatever. So it'll be more specified, like if you say they go cut down 100 trees, where there's an amount per each tree, and then you get credits for saved amounts. And even say you don't clear cut, say you have to remove a protected tree. Well, there's either you have to pay a cost for removing that tree. So we have money, like a tree fund. So we have money to replace it ourselves, or they have to go in and replace it. So there's an option to replace or give us money, and we can put up trees wherever we want. So, so that's how most ordinances are, and it works. So it needs to be rewritten.
It needs to be serious this time.
Yeah, I wasn't here when the last one was written, but when you do the credits, it works, and then it gives you something to go back to them if that happens, because staff can't have eyes on everything all the time. People are going to roll in here on the weekends.
No, that's fine.
So
Is it in compliance with the state and federal guidelines on trees as far as like exotics and stuff like that, or?
Our current one,
Yes.
it doesn't identify species at all. No. So if it's below, it doesn't even have caliper in there, but it's basically I think is it 4 feet? If it's under 4 feet, you can, do you remember how many feet it is?
Yeah, it's about the diameter and 4 feet. So I think it's like 10-inch diameter and 4 feet tall.
Yeah, so if it's over 4 feet, you can't cut it down, and if it's under 4 feet, you can remove it. But they still would have to identify those. But typically, it'll be certain species are considered unprotected that can be removed. But you still have to submit a tree survey and get approval. I mean, there has to be a whole plan submitted. And right now, it's a free-for-all.
Yes, I agree.
And so it's pretty scary. So that was one of the reasons why we're starting to do this developer agreement and to plug the hole until we can get some of these things fixed and direction from the commission. I need to get something on their agenda there's a whole lot going on here right now, but that's one of the important higher priority things to get on there soon.
Good, good.
Well, I mean, if the state has guidelines on certain trees, like such as down south of Melaleuca, and the state guidelines say you have to remove them every time a property changes hands or stuff just to do that. And it seems like a lot of the local governments don't enforce that, even though the state requires it. I mean, we have the same problem here with our, the camphor trees. State says, you got to get them out of there. If you sell the property, you go to develop it. You can't leave a few, can't do this. You got to get them out of there.
Right.
And then yet we don't enforce it. And somebody comes in, they build and they leave all their camphors up. Some of them, which are throughout town, are massive trees now. And of course, all they do is proceed to seed thousands of more. I mean, if we could put that in there, that same, at least maybe adopt some of the state things, we then have more power on that control too.
Well, I mean, I would like to have people help write it. I mean, I can get a nice draft and things that other states have done, but I'm not an arborist or I'm not a landscape architect. So I'd like to get some input from professionals and people who care and know a lot about trees. I am Damon, our Parks and Rec director, even knows a lot. I feel like the tree preservation ordinance is something that should be looked at by a number of eyes and not just me and Christy. But I also don't want to have it looked at by so many people that I don't get something passed in a timely manner. Okay. So anyway,
something else on the plate.
But it's important. Like it's higher level because it matters. I will tell you one of the plugs that we are kind of putting in the developer agreement right now. We put that there is no clear cutting allowed.
Right.
We also put in there that basically they have to provide us certain information and get a landscape plan approved. They have to do a tree survey and get a landscape plan approved. And we put particularly what needs to be in there because that's not, it's not, the survey part isn't in there right now. So you can't really if we don't have the information, we can't enforce something we don't have the information for. And we added some things on there. And again, this has to be approved by the commission, but this is our staff's recommendation that when their new subdivisions go in, they have to, trees have to be planted in the yards based on the width of the lot, the width and length of the lot, the square footage of the lot. So for instance, if you have a more dense neighborhood, that would require 2 trees at least one in the front. For instance, Bailey, there's no trees that had to be planted. And along major thoroughfares, if you do a subdivision that, or collector streets, the internal main road through a subdivision, that would require 1 tree every 40 feet. So, again, the commission would have to approve it. The developer would have to agree to it, but it is in the developer's best interest to agree to those things. And it's pretty basic. Like that's not asking for really, in my opinion, anything up and above. Those are the minimum requirements that most cities that have minimum standards in their land development code, they have things like that. At least the cities that are starting to grow, the suburbs of more urban areas, which, we are a rural town, but we are also kind of / a suburb of Gainesville. So now's our time to do it right before all this development comes in.
Absolutely.
Any more questions? All right, I need a motion to close in a second.
I'll make a motion to close the meeting.
A motion?
And a second by, I guess, Ms. Yvonne or something.
There you go.
All right, all in favor, say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Meeting is adjourned at 7:00.